Hey, good evening, guys. This is Nathan Pennington from RunDreamAchieve.com. I have not made a video in the past few weeks. It's been extremely busy as of lately, but I do plan on continuing to make more videos to help athletes here in the States and around the world. I'm currently in business school right now at Purdue University, so it's taken, along with work, it's taken quite a bit of a time out of my schedule. But that being said, I want to make a video this evening about a marathon taper. What is the proper amount of time for you to start tapering down your training so you can get the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to race day? I've always believed that a 10-day taper will get you the biggest results. Now, what I always say in my videos is this is just my own opinion. It does not make it set in stone. Like, you've got to listen to me. I've run 2:19 for the marathon, and I have all the answers. That's not where I'm trying to get at with the videos that I create. I'm not trying to look to please everybody either as well. I've had a lot of positive comments with the videos that I've been making, so I do appreciate that, and I also appreciate the constructive criticism as well. I've only obviously gotten that from one individual, but I still think it's helpful to get all feedback from everybody, regardless if it's positive or negative. But what I'm trying to say is, really find out what works best for you, and do the best that you can. Listen to athletes that have run as fast as you, have run faster than you, or that haven't run as fast as you. I can learn just as much from a beginner as somebody that's that's run 2:10 for the marathon, 9 minutes faster than I've run. So, I've done the 3 weeks out. You'll see a lot of online content, a lot of YouTube videos where coaches and athletes as well really believe that a 3 week taper will that's the proper time to start dropping your mileage. And in many cases, it is. I've also done 3 week out tapers. I've usually performed my very best when I started tapering 10 days out from a major event. I always do usually a 5K at race pace 4 days out from a major race. I've always felt that that's just kind of gives your legs a reminder of what you've trained them to do, and you take those 3 days leading up to the big race to really back off, just kind of jog a couple miles, but real light those that full week leading into your main event. Again, I've tried both the 3 week out taper and a 10-day taper, and my recommendation to you, again, it's not set in stone, but give it a try. If you've never tried 10 days out, definitely consider that, because I think a lot of times, and at least in my opinion and what I've experienced in the past, is when you start dropping your mileage, you've spent weeks and months putting in those heavy miles, doing the heavy, the tempo runs, the hill repetitions, the track workouts, and you start dropping your volume at 3 weeks out. A lot of times it can leave you feeling lethargic and feeling like maybe you should have started dropping, kept your volume up, kept the intensity up, but just slightly dropped your volume a little bit. And especially leading into those last 10 days rather than 3 weeks out. So, like I said, I ran my best marathon, my best half marathon, my best 10-mile distance PR, all on a 10-day out taper. So I always focus on, as I teach in the courses that I teach and the training programs that I've constructed as well on Run Dream Achieve. And I'll leave the links to those as well if that's something that interests you. But I always focus heavy on what some of the best coaches in the world taught me, and that is high emphasis on heart rate monitor training. If you haven't started focusing on heart rate monitor training, I highly recommend it. I've been doing it. I got recommended to start doing it in 1996 by Jack Hazen. Dr. Joe Vigil. If you look at all of the a lot of top athletes really place a high emphasis on heart rate monitor training, because it really keeps you in those training zones. Like, if you're trying to do an anaerobic threshold run and you're trying to improve your lactate tolerance, You want to make sure that you are holding your heart rate anywhere from around 167 beats per minute to 174 beats per minute. That's right around where we race at. And you can also dig into this a little bit more as well. This is also feedback that you'll learn from some of the top exercise physiologists like Dr. Joe Vigil. He's a mentor of mine as well. He always states that you really, the fact that we race at our anaerobic threshold, it's very critical that you spend time training at that heart rate. And again, it's not that you don't want to get so accustomed to doing heart rate monitor training that you're using it every single day. If an easy day, if you've got an easy day on your schedule, just really go out there, take it easy. If you know the distance of your race, or the distance of the training run that you're doing, you don't necessarily have to have a heart rate monitor on. You can just focus on time on your feet, getting the distance in, and just focusing on recovery on those particular days. Now, if you do a track session, even if you're on the track, it's very difficult to wear a heart rate monitor because your heart rate, especially if you're doing like repeat 800s, repeat 200s, you're really working that aerobic capacity. That you're up over 175 beats a minute. You're getting real close to your maximum heart rate. That type of training also is very critical in terms of getting to a point where race pace feels more relaxed, more in control, and you're training at speeds that obviously you're not going to be able to sustain for the entire distance, for a marathon or a 5K or whatever. So obviously spend time training at, near, or far below your goal race pace, but also do not neglect taking it easy on those recovery days, and really, really paying attention to all the other variables that goes into creating a personal best. Obviously, if you're training for a specific race time, you have to train at that specific pace. You have to get used to training below that pace. For me personally, when I was a 2:43 marathoner, at that particular time in my life, I could run a marathon at 6 minutes and 14 seconds per mile, but I had an extremely difficult goal, a very high-level goal of trying to break 2 hours and 22 minutes, which comes out to 5 minutes and 25 seconds per mile. So how do you go from 6:14 to 5:25? You spend a lot more time. I've reiterated this a lot in my courses and a lot of blog posts that I've written as well. You have to start varying up the paces of your long runs. You have to start spending a little bit of time, much more time, running at a higher heart rate for a longer period of time. And you don't run every single weekend hard. You want to alternate one hard long run followed by a relaxed jog the following week. Recovery is just as much important as well. And all of this ties into that perfect taper, of deciding when do I want to start dropping all of the really intense workouts that I've been doing, that the mileage. And again, don't get caught up in the mileage. Get focused on quality over quantity. We hear that all the time from athletes and from coaches. And it took me a lot of years to get that right. Because we're so driven, we're so focused, we want to succeed at our event. And we think a lot of times, not all athletes, but a lot of athletes think that higher mileage equates to better results. And that's not the case. It's about proper execution of your workouts, hydrating well, eating well, getting plenty of rest, focusing on the things that you can control, not on the things that you cannot control. In my case, in making these videos, I can't control pleasing everybody. That's not my goal. I'm not looking for perfection either. I'm looking for the people that want to listen, that will, the message will resonate with them, and that will take the time, that are coachable, and that will want to get to that next level, that will respect the fact that, here's somebody that's taken time out of his day, that started with hardly any talent and worked his way up, finally got under, a 220 marathon, has that longevity of having an online property website that he's continued to work on. Those type of people will appreciate the fact that, it's not just somebody that's just going to put a little bit of content here and just give up on people. It's very, very important that Um, me as an athlete, I always go toward people that obviously are doing the things that I desire to do, that have done something that I really respect, and that's kind of my message with all these videos. Some of the best businessmen, businesswomen out there, they're not in it for perfection. They just want to share their thoughts, um, and hopefully have it resonate with somebody out there that so their life can be changed in some way. I think that's really critical for me personally now that I've mainly retired from competitive running, and giving back and getting other athletes here in the States and around the world better results by using leverage. Leverage is simply doing more with less. And we've all been taught how to work hard as athletes, but working hard obviously doesn't always equate to new personal bests. And it's a process. It's not something, athletic success, uh, you know, racing well at the 5K to the marathon distance takes a lot of tenacity and strong mindset and a belief in delayed gratification. Again, when it comes to tapering for a big race, uh, definitely, I highly recommend giving a 10-day taper rather than a 3-week taper, which is usually the norm. In most cases, a lot of athletes, a lot of coaches online and offline will say uh, 3 weeks out is proper. And then for many athletes, it will be proper. It will be the best recommendation. It may work best for you, but give it a shot. If you haven't tried a 10-day taper and you've tried the 3-week out and it hasn't really produced the types of results that you're looking for, try a 10-day taper. So hopefully this video has been helpful. I'll leave some information below this video, some helpful links regarding the running courses that I've created on RunDreamAchieve, as well as the training programs that I've created, and hopefully some of those products and services will provide more insight into how to properly prepare for a 5K to a marathon distance. And definitely feel free, if you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to click the subscribe button, click on the bell icon as well. That way, anytime I make a new video, you will be notified of that as well. So I'll leave that with you tonight. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you. And wherever you are in the world, I wish you the very best with your training. And I look forward to definitely leave a comment as well, whether positive or negative. I appreciate people taking the time to leave comments and questions. I also have a couple other commenters that left questions for me to answer as well that I will answer as well. I think it's I do appreciate the feedback that I get on these videos. It means that one, people are listening, and two, the majority of the people that stop on my videos do appreciate the time and appreciate the guidance and feedback I'm sharing. So I appreciate that as well, that you're taking the time to answer or ask questions as well. So have a great afternoon, great evening, great morning, wherever you are in the world, and I'll talk to you next time.